Earlier, I showed you how to search a vector using primitive methods. By primitive, I mean by using our own function that we created. It's a bit harder to sort a vector using primitive methods because it requires programming skills that you haven't learned yet and aren't appropriate for this course. So for sorting a vector, we're going to stick with the built-in functions that are part of the C++ library. So to do that, we need to add that library into our code first thing. So let's do that now. The library is called algorithm, and it will give us the capabilities to call a sort function that will work with vectors. You'll notice that I've already put in the build vector and the display vector functions. I want to modify build vector first so that we can specify the number of items we want to put in our vector. So we're going to add a parameter num items, and then we're going to change this hard-coded 1000 in the for loop so that it will reflect the number of items we actually want to build. And then notice that I also have a display vector function for integers, but I also need one for strings because we're going to do a sort on a string vector later. So I need to copy this function and modify it to work with strings. So I'm going to do that right now. We'll call it display vector s. It's got to have a new name. And then we're going to change the data type of the parameter to string. That's the only change we have to make to that function to make it work. So let's start out by building a numeric vector, an integer vector, and put some numbers in it, and then see how it sorts. So we'll call the vector type with int and call it numbers. Then we'll write build vector numbers, and let's do 10 so that we can easily sort the vector and see both the pre-sorted vector and the post-sorted vector. So we'll do that by calling display vector first with the unsorted vector. Let's write a new line. Then we'll call the sort function. The sort function is called sort, and it takes two arguments. The beginning of the vector, which we specify using a built-in function called begin, and the ending of the vector, which we specify using a built-in function called end. Those functions specify where the sort function should begin and end when it's doing its sorting. We do that because we could sort the first half or the second half or a middle slice, but we want to sort the whole vector from beginning to end, so we specify those two functions. Then let's display the vector after it's been sorted and put another new line. That should be all we need, so let's build and run the program. Oh, I left out a semicolon. Put that in there. Now we're ready to go. So you see the vector unsorted starts at 211 and then has several other items through 954. And then the vector sorted starts at 57, 211, 308, 378, and if you notice as we move down, those items are in sorted order. So the sort function works quite efficiently. Let's try it with a larger size. Let's try it with 1,000 items. We won't be able to see the unsorted vector when we display them, and we'll only see a bit or a part of the sorted vector, but just to see how quickly it does it. And there we go, and we can see that the items are sorted. Let me pull it down a little bit where you can see it better. And just for fun, let's try it with 100,000 items. There's the unsorted vector, as you can tell. As we wait through, it's going to take quite a bit longer, but that's okay. I just wanted to demonstrate this so you can see that it works with any size. And displaying the vectors makes it take quite a bit longer. And there we go into the display. I'm probably going to cut this off before it gets finished because we've got quite a ways to go. So I'm going to hit Control-C here to stop it. So that's how the sort function works. Let's try it with the string vector. So let's comment out our code to sort numbers. And let's create a new vector. We'll just do names again. Those are easy. We'll put some names into the vector names. So excuse me for a second while I type. And let's do one more name. Let's do something in the middle. Let's use my name. Okay, there we go. Let's display the vector. So we'll call display vector S with names. Let's put a new line after that. Then we'll sort the vector using the very same function call. Very same arguments, just a different vector name. Names instead of numbers. Then let's display the vector again. And put another new line. And that looks like all we need. I think I got all my semicolons in this time. So let's build and run the program. And there you go. So we had Raymond, Cynthia, David, William, Mike to start with. And after the sort function is called, Cynthia, David, Mike, Raymond, and William. Once again, I encourage you to always use the built-in functions that are part of the C++ libraries. They're always tested well, more efficient than what you can write yourself. I do encourage you to learn more about sorting, and in an advanced course you would learn some advanced sorting techniques. But most professional programmers still believe that the built-in algorithms for searching and sorting are much more effective and efficient than anything they could write themselves. That finishes all the introductory material to vectors. In my next video, we'll do an exercise where we use a vector to figure out if a word is a palindrome or not.